Hey g'day guys, Solaz here, welcome back to the channel. So today I'm going to be starting a new format of video where I essentially take an existing melody and flip it into something different. And today I'm going to be showing you how I flip the theme song of the movie Up into a lo-fi beat. Let's do it. Okay guys, before we start anything, I just want to throw a massive disclaimer. I do not own any right of copywriting. This music has been created, the original music has been created by Michael Giacchino and released by Disney for the movie Up. Michael Giacchino is a music composer who has worked with Disney in the past in the movies like Ratatouille or The Incredibles as well. So yeah, full credit to him and to Disney for releasing this music. Okay guys, we are back in my Ableton session. As you can see, it is dark now behind me because I've had so many issues for this video. It literally took me forever and this is the second time I am recording it. So yes, hopefully this one is a good one. Perfect. So, my Ableton session, you can see it is very light. There's pretty much nothing. And we are going to start with the melody. So the first thing I have done is I went online and downloaded the MIDI track. Absolutely beautiful, and I've put a piano. And what's amazing with this piano is there's a bunch of features that you can play with. And if you click on this little icon here, the piano tab, you can go into noise and add some felt, mechanical and pedal. So the pedal is going to be the sustain or like the velocity of the pedal, and mechanical is basically going to be the mechanic of the piano. So they've actually recorded the mechanic of the piano when, for example, the hammer is hitting the string. So I've enabled this and you can hear it very lightly. If you listen, if I play the main melody, the one that I've used, you can hear this, you know, the slow percussion. It really gives like life to the piano, and I really love this. So then once I had my MIDI, I just took the exact same piano, the Noir piano, because I really loved how it sounded. And I went on to writing some chord progression. So I think the track itself is in C major or C minor, can't remember, and I've dropped down mine into a G sharp minor because I really like the tone of it. And I went and played around and write a chord progression that sounds like that. And then for the second part of the melody, it's pretty much the same chord repeating, but a little change at the end. I've just high up the two notes. So if we play the second part, it just sounds like that. Beautiful. So then the main melody is what we call a call and response. There is a first phrase and a second phrase that normally answer it. And basically it is, actually I'm not too sure I'll be able to explain this perfectly. How about we call our good friend Afep to explain this to us. Afep, please, can you come and explain this?
Hi, I'm Afep, Artificial Intelligence for Useless Producer. So, a call and response melody is a musical structure where one voice or instrument, the call, makes a musical statement. The other voice or instrument, the response, answers or imitates it. The call and response pattern is commonly found in all styles of music from many cultures. In these musical forms, the call and response pattern can be used to build tension, create a sense of community among performers, or simply to provide a rhythmic structure for improvisation. In both cases, the call and response pattern creates a back-and-forth dialogue between the different voices and instruments and contributes to the overall energy and drive of the music. There you go. If you enjoy my tips and knowledge, please subscribe and like this video. Now, back to the French weirdo.
Okay, perfect. Now that we know what a call and response is, we can go back to the video. So the call, the full melody, I think is going through 3 times 4 bars. So you see there's 1 bar here, 2 bar, 3 bar, 4 bar. That's our first section. And then it repeats for a second time and a third time. What I needed is that this melody match my chord progression, which goes into 4 times 4 bars. So in order to achieve this, what I've done is I've just recorded as an audio. So to do that, you just need to do Command T, open an audio track, set the input into your source, which is 17 contacts. Yep. Enable recording, and then you can just record. Perfect. So now I just need to make sure I go until the last note, which is there. And then what you need to do is just stretch the tempo until the time needed, which in our case, it's gonna be this one. And then what you need to make sure as well is probably change the interpolation into complex. Otherwise, it's gonna sound very weird. So perfect. And then you can see, so that's the example, that's the melody that I've used. So I can just remove this, remove my example. And what I've done, I think I've just pitched the main melody just 1 octave higher. And yeah, just add an RC20 with some noise, wobble, a very slow wobble, as you can see. And a lot of space, which is a reverb, and then cuts some low frequencies and high frequencies. And I knew I wanted to use this piano loop for the hook, or let's say the drop, whatever. So I needed another element that played the same melody, but something a little lighter. So I went into the cymatic bank and choose this one shot. It's so light, beautiful, very emotional. And in order to use a different sound, I just needed to transfer this audio file that we just recorded into a new MIDI, but this time to the right tempo, to the right length. And it's actually very, very simple. You just need to select your audio file, double click, and convert harmony into new MIDI track. So now it's just gonna record everything basically, and it's just gonna open a default synth of Ableton, and you're gonna need to go into it and clean it a little. Now let's hear it. Perfect. And once you've got the MIDI, you can basically just remove everything and then drop whatever sampler or whatever VST you want here, and then you end up with something like that. Beautiful. I think I've just put some, just some reverb here, and same as well, I've removed some lows and some high frequencies because, you know, it is lo-fi, it's a lo-fi genre, so it has to sound a bit dirty, a bit unprofessional. And so yeah, that's pretty much it for all the melodic element. Oh no, it's actually, that's far from done. See, that's the second time I'm recording this video and I still can't get it right. Okay, so for the last melodic element, I've just basically used the same chord progression of the piano, and then just tweak it a little bit. I've had some out of tune notes to really give this, you know, like I said, lo-fi, like vintage tone, and there is some notes out of tune, so it sounds like that. And plus the main melody. So yeah, that was just for the bridge. I just wanted to introduce another melodic element. And that's pretty much it for the melodies, I think, yes. Now onto the bass. It's not really an 808, and you're gonna see why. So again, I went into cymatic. Since we are doing a lo-fi beat, I wanted to use again a live element. I didn't want to use like a bass made from a synth or an actual 808. So I've used a bass guitar, very raw, very deep, very natural, and I don't have any post-processing whatsoever on it, and the notes are just following the root notes of my piano chord progression. Now onto the drums. So as you can see, I've got pretty much nothing. It's just some percussions, some shakers, a snare and a kick, because it is a very slow and low lo-fi beat. I didn't want to overcrowd the stereo field, I didn't want to overdo it, and I wanted to keep things very simple and just to focus on the melodies and basically the story I wanted to tell. So for the percussion, that's from Cymatic. And I don't have any post-processing at all on it. I really like the vibe of it. Obviously there's few elements. I think I can hear a shaker that has probably been pitched down. And I like the percussion because it sounded like an old clock ticking. And yeah, it was fitting the context pretty well. And also few of the percussion are offbeat. They're slightly offsetted, which was perfect for the lo-fi genre because, you know, again, it doesn't sound super professional. It's very raw. And then we've got a shaker loop with some reverb and delay, so without it sound like that. Very, very simple. Delay and reverb to play into the stereo field. I think there is a ping pong delay going on, yes. And then for the kick and the snare, again, very simple. I think this is a combination of a snare and a clap. So what I've done, I've just offset the transient a little bit to hit before the actual grid. And what have I done? I cut a bit of the high frequencies again and put some reverb. And the kick is really classic kick with a bit of like a cymbal transient at the beginning, which is pretty nice. And then for the effects, I've had a sample of a rain sample from Cymatic because it's, you know, it's a sad, very emotional melody. So I think the rain complement this very well. And then just a couple of transition elements with, I think, again, some reverb. Yes, there's some reverb on this one, the riser. So they are on a different pitch, which is very nice as well. It brings a different step into the track, and I've just put them onto at the beginning of like each different section of the track. And that's pretty much it. Actually, that is it. Yeah, there you go. And this is it, guys. This is how I flip the theme song of the movie Up. Let me know down in the comments if there is any theme song you would like me to play around with. And now I just need to leave you with the final result. See you in the next one.